An important element of providing a supportive learning environment is that the teacher must regularly reinforce student effort. Students need to see that there is a direct correlation between their effort, properly understood, and their achievement. This is not something that all students automatically understand or act upon. The teacher needs to make this concept a constant presence in the classroom. The teacher will need to teach this concept explicitly to her classes. She cannot just assume her students realize this, that if they put forth the proper kind and amount of effort, they will have a greater likelihood of success. Some students know this, but many do not. You see, when students don't do well, they tend to blame luck. They might say, I studied what I thought the teacher would ask, but she didn't ask those questions. Maybe I'll get luckier next time and guess better. Or they might blame other people. The teacher didn't explain it well enough. Or the textbook wasn't clear. Or my little brother had a ball game and I couldn't study enough. But a lot of times students will blame natural abilities when they don't succeed. I guess I'm just not a good math person. Or that student has a gift for writing, I just can't do that. Or I've never been able to understand poetry. However, successful students generally already understand the importance of effort. They know that luck, natural ability, and other people might have an effect on their success, but those are not the primary drivers of achievement, and they're not dependable keys to success. You see, if it's just luck, you never know whether you'll succeed or not. It's just the random luck of the draw on any given day. It reminds me of what I hear sports coaches say about luck. They want their team to prepare for a game so well that the random nature of luck has little to no effect on the outcome of the game. They want their team to put themselves in a position to take advantage of whatever lucky happenings happen, like a freak bounce of the ball. Now, of course, as Christians, we know that even these so-called lucky things are part of the sovereign plan of our Heavenly Father, and that there really is no such thing as luck. But still, from a human perspective, as we see things, some things do appear to happen randomly, such as which particular questions the teacher might ask on the test. And the successful student has prepared in such a way that those random choices will have little to no effect on his success. So teachers need to instruct all their students, especially the struggling students, about this concept. Help them to see that their effort, proper effort, has the single greatest impact on their success, more than luck, natural abilities, or other people. And like most things we teach, this has to be done consistently and repeatedly. This is especially the case when we're talking about changing student attitudes. Attitudes don't change all at once, especially when these wrong attitudes have been built up and reinforced over a number of years. It's similar to, and actually is an element of, the process of Christian sanctification. That's just a theological term that refers to our becoming more and more like Christ throughout our lives. When we become Christians, we don't instantly become completely holy and sinless in every part of our lives. Instead, that's a process that takes place over our whole lives and only becomes perfect when we go to be with Christ. Similarly, our students' attitudes about their work, about the importance of effort toward their success, that attitude will change only over time, not all at once. So we have to repeatedly teach this attitude to our students in every context. I'm not talking here about having a few separate lessons devoted to the value of effort, although those might come in handy. Students don't develop proper attitudes just through isolated lessons here and there. Instead, teaching on this needs to take place over and over again, and needs to be modeled before the students regularly. And this needs to happen in the context of regular classroom work. For example, when you're reviewing with your students to get ready for a history test on Friday, you can also summarize the importance of effort and work in their preparation. One effective way of instructing students about the value of hard work is to tell them stories about others. There are many inspirational stories about individuals who succeeded due to consistent effort, even when they might not have had the natural abilities of others, or in spite of bad luck. Stories are very effective ways to teach about changing attitudes, because they help students see the real-life outworking of what you're teaching, and it's not just left in abstract terms. But most of our students will tell us that they are working hard. You know, there are always going to be students who get a poor grade on the test, and then they or their parents will say, "I really worked and tried, and I spent hours getting ready for the test, and I still failed." So when you tell them that hard work and effort is the key to achievement, they think, "Yeah, right, I tried that. So it must just be that I don't have the ability to do this stuff." But most of the time, when a student says he has worked hard or spent hours studying, he means he spent a long time looking at his book. Let's say he has a history test on chapter 11 in the textbook, so he goes in his room and reads chapter 11 again. Maybe he reads it a second time. Then he looks at each page diligently for a few minutes. Soon he has spent a few hours doing this. So it comes time for the test, and he can't remember what he read, and he fails the test. As a result, he says, this is useless. I work hard and I can't learn it. Why work if I'm just going to fail anyway?" You see, students haven't learned what hard work and good effort really looks like in the context of studying. Here's the thing, hard work does not equate with long hours. Neither does effort correlate with hours spent. We all know the cliche, "work smarter, not harder." Now that might be an overused cliche, but it does apply in the area of academic achievement. If a student spends 30 minutes studying for a test versus spending 2 hours studying for that test, he's not going to achieve 4 times as well if he spends the 2 hours instead of the 30 minutes, if all he's doing is the same thing he did for 30 minutes. Just multiplying that by 4 doesn't mean his achievement goes up 4 times. Instead, we need to teach the students, and often the parents, what effective studying and work looks like. What does it mean to put forth profitable effort in studying? We don't have time to go here into a complete summary of effective study techniques, but one thing you could do is give the students a rubric like this, which is found on page 27 in the book that we're studying, by the way. Look at this. Excellent hard work, excellent studying. I reread the text and compared the text to my notes, adding to my notes as needed. I sought help from others when I didn't understand, and met with a study partner to review and discuss my understanding of key ideas. That's what excellent hard work studying for a test would look like. What's good hard work? I reviewed the text and my notes and added to my notes as needed. I sought help if I didn't understand something. So, okay, you've done some good things there, reviewing and looking at your notes, adding to notes, finding help, but you didn't compare the text to notes and add to notes that way. You didn't get a study partner to help review. So it's good work, but it could be improved. What is fair hard work? I skimmed through the text and looked at my notes. This is what most students mean when they talk about that they studied. That they just skim through the text, they might look at their notes, and that's it. Unsatisfactory hard work is, I just read my notes once. So you see, we've defined here for the students, what does good hard work, what does good effort look like in the context of studying for an upcoming test? And you could go through this with your students and explain what it means, and you might demonstrate it. You could role play it. Like maybe you could show them a paragraph from the text and some notes from class, and you could demonstrate for them, all right, now let me read this paragraph over again. and you read it, you say, here's a point that I left out of my notes. So you add it to your notes. You see, you kind of work them through how to study and what that looks like. Role play it. Think aloud for your students. Now you can think about this and come up with adaptations of something like this for different subjects or different types of material. I mean, students preparing for math, that's going to look different than learning history or English. But in all these, it's helpful if you can define for the students what hard work and real effort looks like. Then, after you give the test, give the students this rubric, have them rate themselves anonymously, and have them mark what level they actually did. Be honest. What did you really do? And have them put the grade they got on it as well. Then you can take all of those sheets and graph the results. You can use a scatter plot chart, but you can show down one axis the level of work, on the other axis the grade that the students received. And you should see a correlation that the better they did on working hard, the higher their grades were on average. And students could also do this on their own. Maybe you could have them keep a chart of each test or major assignment, graph the relationship between their effort and their achievement. This helps them see that proper, effective study habits make a difference in their achievement. So, in summary, to reinforce effort, you need to teach the relationship between effort and achievement, and you need to provide explicit guidance about what it means to expend effort. In our next video, we're going to look at the importance of providing proper recognition as another element of establishing a good classroom atmosphere for learning.